Most men don't wake up one day and decide to ruin their lives. They just drift. Days turn into months, months turn into years, and then one day you realize that you've been busy but not intentional. Now, I want to get into something and I want to really ponder my thoughts about it first before I let it out. Only because I don't want to start blabbering on and on, right? And it goes back to what I said before about drifting. No, not drifting the car. I know that's what some of you would have thought of. But more so why people tend to drift. And in my case, why young fathers I see tend to drift. Now, I'm not coming for nobody. I'm not coming at nobody. This is just my observation, and these are all just my opinions. Feel free to let yours go in the comments. But yeah, when I mention drifting and why a lot of um, young fathers tend to drift, I put it down to three things. Let's put it down to three things. The first thing being uh, life pressures, the pressure that we feel from life. Now, this is a whole nother segment, and I won't touch on it now. But it's like the silent battles that a lot of men face. And I'm only speaking from a male's perspective, right? And because I know what it feels like. I'm not saying we're the only ones that feel it. Um, Believe me, the episode that I talk about my partner, you'll hear me say from the male perspective what I've seen and witnessed about the struggles that the females go through, right? So I do understand that. But for the sake of this episode, silent battles that men face come from when a good man is trying to balance out working, providing, protecting, and also trying to spend time with his family, his kids, doing the things that he wants to do. Because that's the difficult part, right? And it's like, I can relate to that so much because that is actually a concern, or it's a, it's a goal or mission of mine to achieve more time, right? If you were to ask me, what do I want the most in this world, and it'd be time to spend with my kids. Because it's true, man, when you start having kids, you blink and, my son just started kinder. As I'm filming this now, it's his second week. And so, he's, I feel like it was like that. He was just born. My daughter turned one. She's walking, she's starting to put sentences together. And so, yeah, it's just trippy. And as happy as I am to see them progress, hit these different milestones, that's my kids, that is. It also, on another note, makes me realize how fast time goes, right? Before I met my partner, couldn't care less about the time because I had lots of spare time from work, shower, jump on the game, get a bit of Apex Legends in ya. Shout out to Apex, sponsor me if you want. I'm actually a gun. But now that I have kids, like I realize how much I want time. It's the time that I want the most. And if you were to ask me my deepest, most greatest ambition, it's just time. Time is all I want. And so that's what I'm striving for. But yeah, back to the topic at hand. A lot of the times why I see young men drift or young fathers drift or people in my same shoes drift, and stop being their normal selves is the pressures that we feel from life. And I'm, just dived into a massive one there, um, about time and whatever else. But then it's also things like bills. Something simple. Well, not that simple, but bills, right? You want to buy your kids the newest Nerf gun. Uh, you want to buy your kids some cool toys, new clothes, and whatever else. But then maybe some weeks you can't because you got to put it towards a bill. And then how do you explain to a kid who doesn't understand that mum and dad can't afford it this week? Another one, and it's a big one, and it's expectations. And I feel like that's expectations from other people, yes, immediately, straight off the bat. But then also expectations that you put on yourself, which are oftentimes maybe a little too unfair, right? And maybe we're comparing ourselves to the next guy and saying, look at these guys. How come, they have XYZ and I don't have the same? But in all honesty, it took me a long time to realize this, and it took me to get to know myself first before I was able to do this and have the ability to overcome this. But it just gotta stop caring. That's my that's how I did it, and that's how I overcame it. Was you just gotta stop caring, because the minute I'd learnt and taught myself how to do that was the minute I found myself just slightly happier or more content. Not complacent, but content. And I was proud of where I was at that point because of where I came from. And if I can see an improvement from where I came from to where I am now, I'm happy with what I'm doing in my life. Yeah, man, it sent me down memory lane right there. Just to the way we grew up, And I'll touch on that. Not now, but life pressures. One thing, and I know I went into a few little subcategories, but I can all tie they can all tie back to life pressures or the pressures that life puts on you. Another one is lack of guidance. And when I say guidance, guidance can come in so many forms, whether it be your parents, siblings, best mate, missus, or partner in general, but just lack of guidance. Often you see the ones with the greatest potential, and you're just like, man, if he just had someone to take him under their wing, who knows what could have come of them, become of them. And that's crazy to me. And I've seen some examples out in the world. I don't think anyone I know personally, but things I've seen online and whatever else. And again, with the ones I see online, don't know the full story. And this is just me making a judgment based upon what I've been able to see. So totally get that it's not always accurate, but it's just crazy because it's it spins me out sometimes to know that if you just hook up with, and not the way you're thinking of it, but if you link up and you meet the right person or the right group of people, how much the trajectory of your life changes, right? Like, you think you're all macho and I can do this on my own, but the minute you come into contact with a certain people or a certain someone that just has that extra care for you to push you just a little bit more, you realize that although you are capable, you just needed a bit of push from someone who may see something from a different point of view. And or a different set of eyes. You know, they see things differently than you do. And yeah, you know, that's just what I wanted to touch on in terms of lack of guidance. Now, the third and final point is something that I only learnt about or I came to understand better later on in life, as in, you know, the past 3 or 4 years, I came to really understand this, and that's a lack of purpose or survival mode versus having a purpose in life. And I think that's a massive one when it comes to why men tend to drift. You know, they feel like they have nothing to offer, if that makes sense. Well, that's how I felt anyway. I felt like my life on this earth was pointless. I felt like, um, you know, I felt useless, and I felt like I was nobody and I'm worth nothing. But again, back to me really getting to know myself, um, that's where I figured out that hang on, I am worth something, I am someone, and I just have to go find that person. And so I think that's a major reason, you know, for people who don't have that sort of mental fortitude or solitude or haven't really discovered their purpose yet. I think that's a major reason why fathers and men, especially boys too, young men, tend to drift is because they lack purpose. And I mean true purpose, you know. Um, Discovering the reason why you were put on this earth, I think, has been the most amazing thing that I've ever discovered. And that's what's honestly brought me here today, you know what I mean? And it's shaped me from um, it shaped me and molded me into becoming the person that you see before you, you know, sitting in front of this camera and recording this podcast that I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm honestly just giving it a crack. And so keeping those three things in mind, because it's what's weighed on my mind this week, I took it into for the upcoming week. I made it my mission or my goal for the week, just a small one, but it's to be more present. And the reason I say that, the reason that's my goal for the week, to be more present, is there's heaps of times where I'll come home from work just absolutely knackered, buggered, um, because coming from an office environment, this is the first time I'm dealing with not being physically fatigued but mentally, right? And so that this is a whole new ball game for me, and being this level of mentally tired or mentally exhausted, right? And so there are often times I come home and I just want to eat dinner, shower, and just plop myself on the couch and relax until it's time to go to bed. But my kids don't know, nor do they care in the nicest way or the best way possible. They don't care about the day that I've had. They just see dad and they get excited. And, you know, I've never shooed them away or whatever, but it's just sometimes I feel like the energy that I'm putting out towards them, they can feel. And so if I come in with a, you know, hi, what's up, you know, 50-50 sort of attitude here, but not here sort of attitude or mindset, then I feel like they can sense that or they get that reading. And so if I was to continue it, potentially, you know, I probably won't even notice it, but they'll probably continue to or begin to be standoffish. Our dad's home, so what? And that's not their fault. That'd be all on me. And so that's why my goal this week is to just be a little more present. You know, I make an effort to not bring my phone to the table while we're eating dinner so I could talk to my son about his day. I make time for my daughter so we can just jibby jabber together, talk about goo goo and gagas. And then finally, last but definitely not least, is just making time for my partner and helping her out. Because no matter the day I've had, I genuinely believe she's, had a harder one, had a harder day. She's had a tough one, definitely. And I'm not one to ever not acknowledge the work and the struggle, that goes on behind the scenes while I'm at work. I take pride in being the provider and the protector of my house. But I always, or I make the effort to never forget to let her know that without her, I wouldn't have a house to provide for or to protect, and so hats off to her and, all the mums out there, as well as all the fathers. And so my request to you guys would be just to set yourself a goal for the week and then just hit it, man. Just hit it. Because there's so much potential, and it's crazy because I can tell this to anyone and I'll have this yarn with just about anybody. There's so much potential in this world, and all we got to do is just unlock it. That's all you got to do. And it sounds simple, and the work to get there may be tough, but I'm not there yet, but I can already sense or just get a sniff of the rewards and the blessings that come with being consistent, being persistent, and just sticking with it, man. And so I want to leave you guys with that, and let me know what, now that the episode's finished. Let me know if you haven't noticed. I've set up a little bit differently. I don't have the mic arm and the mic in my face. I'm using a wireless mic. Let me know what you prefer. I want to know because within, I'd say, the first maybe 10 or 15 episodes or videos that I post, you'll see a lot of changes, only because I'm just trying to find my rhythm, trying to find what I like on camera, and trying to see what works, whether having a mic is better for the audio or having these wireless ones is better. Let me know what you guys think, because obviously you guys are the one that's going to be watching it, and I want to make something that not only I'm proud of, but that you guys wouldn't mind watching. So yeah, again, my name's Nathan. This is the Father on a Mission podcast. Thanks for watching. Come with us as we get ready to go to the
Story Farm.
yeah, let's go. Yeah.